Have you ever been sitting in a high-stakes meeting, looking around at your talented colleagues, and then a chilling thought runs down your spine? Oh God, they're gonna find out. They're about to realize I'm not as smart as they think I am. I'm a total fraud. That feeling? You probably tell yourself it's just humility, right? No. Stop lying to yourself. That isn't humility. It's a thief. Right now, it is silently picking your pocket. It's stealing promotions, it's rejecting the salary bumps you actually deserve, and cruelest of all, it's stealing your peace of mind every single night. And here is the single biggest lie your brain is telling you. Once I'm more successful, once I get that title, once I hit 10K a month, this feeling will go away. Dead wrong. The brutal truth is this. The higher you climb, the thinner the air gets. The better you become, the more you feel like an imposter. It doesn't vanish, it just gets more sophisticated. So what do? In this video, I am not going to give you cliches like just believe in yourself or fake it till you make it. No. Today, I'm handing you a 3-stage psychological blueprint to completely dismantle this system error in your brain. We aren't just going to learn how to live with it. We're going to learn how to turn that fear into fuel. Welcome to Psych Blueprint.
First, let's clear something up. Even though we call it a syndrome, the psychologically accurate term is actually the imposter phenomenon. It was first coined in 1978 by psychologists Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes. Why does this distinction matter? Because a syndrome sounds like a disease, something broken inside your head. But a phenomenon means it is an experience that 70% of the population will go through at least once in their lives. So what exactly is happening inside your brain?
We're ready for the next phase.
The core mechanism of the imposter is something called discounting success. Imagine this. You achieve something big. Say you get a promotion. A normal brain thinks, I worked hard, I have the skills, I deserve this. That is internal attribution. But the imposter brain is different. It immediately triggers a filter. It blocks out all your efforts and attributes that success to external factors. You think, they probably just didn't have any other applicants. Or, I just got lucky with the timing. Or worse, I fooled them into thinking I'm smart and sooner or later they're gonna figure it out. You refuse to own your own success. You feel like an uninvited guest at the party of successful people. But here's the key point that will change how you see this. This is a counterintuitive concept I want you to remember. The reverse Dunning-Kruger effect. You know the Dunning-Kruger effect. That's when the least competent people are often the most confident because they don't know enough to know how incompetent they are. Imposter syndrome is the flip side of that coin. As you become more competent, as your knowledge expands, you become more aware of what you don't know. The larger your circle of competence, the larger the circumference of contact with the unknown. So, that feeling of not knowing enough is actually not evidence of your incompetence, quite the opposite. It is often a sign of high proficiency. True imposters never worry about being imposters. Only truly competent people are capable of doubting their own competence. Your anxiety, it is literally your alibi. But understanding this isn't enough, because even if you know you aren't sick, that anxiety still comes back in a vicious cycle, a cruel loop. Let's break it down.
So how does this monster operate? It doesn't run in a straight line. It runs in a circle, a vicious loop that I call the imposter cycle. Let's look at where it starts. You get a new task, a big project. Immediately, anxiety hits. To deal with this anxiety, you usually react in one of two extreme ways. One is over-preparation. You work frantically, checking every tiny detail, obsessed with perfection to ensure no one can criticize you. 2 is procrastination. You are so afraid of starting because you fear failure, so you put it off until the very last minute, then work in a state of absolute panic. And then, regardless of which path you chose, you finish the task. You might even succeed brilliantly. People applaud, your boss praises you, but what is your emotional reaction? It isn't pride, it isn't joy, it is relief. You exhale and think, "Phew, I escaped this time. They didn't catch me this time." And this is where the discounting happens. If you over-prepared, you think, I only succeeded because I worked 3 times harder than everyone else, not because I'm smart. If you procrastinated and rushed, you think, I just got lucky. Next time, I'm definitely dead. The result? The next time a new task comes along, the fear doesn't decrease, it increases. Because now, people's expectations are higher, and you feel like you have to perform an even better acting job to keep hiding. But not everyone experiences this feeling the same way. Dr. Valerie Young, a leading expert in this field, has categorized 5 different imposter types. I want you to listen closely and see which one you are, because the cure for each type is different. Type 1, the perfectionist. This is the most common group. For you, a 99 out of 100 is still a failure. You set unrealistically high standards, and when you don't meet them, which will inevitably happen because you are human, you punish yourself and doubt your own competence. You aren't satisfied with done, you want flawless. Type 2 is the Superwoman or Superman. You believe you are a phony among real colleagues, so the only way to compensate is to outwork them. You are the first one in and the last one out. You never take a day off. You don't work for results. You work to seek validation that you deserve your seat at the table. Type 3, the natural genius. For you, competence is measured by ease and speed. You believe that if you're smart, you should understand things instantly. If you have to struggle to learn a new skill, or if you have to revise a report multiple times, the alarm bells in your head go off, you're stupid. Real geniuses don't struggle like this. For you, effort is proof of incompetence. Type 4, the soloist. You feel that asking for help is admitting weakness. You refuse all assistance, not because you are arrogant, but because you fear that if you ask someone, you will expose yourself as a fraud. You would rather stay up all night figuring it out alone than send one email asking a colleague. Type 5, the expert. You measure competence by what and how much you know. You are terrified of being asked a question you can't answer. You never apply for a job unless you meet 100% of the criteria. You are constantly taking courses, getting one certification after another, because you always feel you don't know enough to start. Do you see yourself in there? It might be one or a combination of a few. Whoever you are, remember that these patterns were not born with you. They were installed. Maybe from your family where you were only praised for getting straight A's, or from a toxic work environment where mistakes were seen as lessons. But here is the good news. If it is software that was installed, then we can uninstall it and upload a new operating system. And that is exactly what we are going to do in the next section, the action blueprint.
Welcome to the blueprint. This is the 3-stage process to uninstall the imposter malware and reinstall a confidence operating system. The first step is to disconnect feelings from facts. The imposter lives on feelings. I feel stupid, so I must be stupid. But feelings are not facts. Feelings are the weather. Facts are the terrain. The weather might be stormy, but the mountain is still standing. Action exercise, the evidence list. I want you to take a sheet of paper and make 3 columns. Column 1, the imposter voice. Write down exactly what you are afraid of. For example, I am not qualified to lead this project. Column 2, the hard evidence. Play the role of your own defense attorney. List every piece of evidence against that fear. Have you done similar projects? What skills do you have? Why did your boss, who isn't an idiot, assign this to you? Column 3, the truth. Write a new conclusion based on data. For example, I am anxious because this is a new challenge, but I have the skills to learn and handle it. When you see the data on paper, the monster in your head shrinks. Next, we have to rewrite the buggy code based on your imposter archetype. For the perfectionist, change your definition of success. Instead of 100% flawless, aim for good enough plus 1%. Done is better than perfect but unfinished. For the soloist, change your perspective. Asking for help isn't weakness. It is smart resource management. Your boss doesn't care who does it, they care that it gets done. For the natural genius, remember the Dunning-Kruger paradox. Struggle is not a sign of stupidity. It is simply the noise of your brain growing new muscles. And here is a mandatory exercise for everyone, the compliment acceptance drill. The next time someone says, "Great job," your old reflex will be, "Oh, it was nothing, just luck," or "It's no big deal." Stop. You are pushing validation away. Replace it with this mantra: "Thank you, I'm glad it was helpful," or simply, "Thank you." Period. Practice owning your wins, even if it's just verbally. Finally, don't wait for confidence to arrive before you act. Act to create confidence. Strategy 1, prove versus improve. Every time you walk into a meeting, tell yourself, "I am not here to prove I'm smart. I am here to improve the situation." When you shift the goal from your ego to the task, the fear vanishes. Strategy 2, the protege effect. The fastest way to realize how competent you are is to teach someone else. Mentor a junior employee. When you see your knowledge helping them, you prove to yourself that you are not a fraud. You are a guide. Strategy 3, your personal board of directors. Don't keep the fear in the dark. Find 2 or 3 mentors or trusted colleagues and tell them, "I'm feeling a bit anxious about this project." You will be surprised when they say, "Me too." When you drag the monster into the light, it dies. You need these people to give you a reality check when your brain starts lying to you. We have come a long way from identifying the ghost in the conference room to building a blueprint to defeat it. But before we finish, I want to leave you with one final truth, a truth that can set you completely free. The goal is not to eliminate fear entirely. If you wait until you feel 100% confident to act, you will be waiting for the rest of your life. Confidence is not the absence of fear. Confidence is your relationship with that fear. That imposter feeling, think of it as a difficult travel companion. When it shows up, don't panic. Greet it and say, "You're back. Thanks for reminding me that I'm doing something important and challenging." Remember, you don't need to feel like an expert to start. You just need to commit to learning along the way. Don't let the fear of being found out stop you from sharing your talents with the world, because the world needs what you have. And now, I have a question for you. Of the 5 imposter archetypes we discussed, the perfectionist, the superwoman, the natural genius, the soloist, or the expert, which one do you identify with the most? Be brave and share your story in the comments below. You will be surprised to see how many others are fighting the exact same battle. You are not alone. If this video helped lift a weight off your shoulders, hit the like button and most importantly, subscribe to Psych Blueprint. In the next video, we are going to dive deep into the biggest enemy of progress, toxic perfectionism. You do not want to miss it. Thanks for watching. Remember, you are not a fraud. You are growing. See you in the next video.